Well, hey there, my friend. Welcome back to the show. My name is Deanna Yates, and you are listening to episode 248 of the Wanna Be Clutter Free podcast. If you have ever felt stuck staring at a pile of clutter, knowing you need to deal with it, but feeling totally drained by the thought of making all of those decisions, well, you are not alone. And today we are tackling decision fatigue and how to break free from it. I know on the surface, decluttering seems like a simple process. Keep what you love, let go of what you don't. But if it were really that easy, wouldn't our homes already be effortlessly organized? The truth is, there is a sneaky culprit keeping us stuck in clutter and overwhelm. And it's what I said before, it's decision fatigue. So today we are going to dive into the science behind why making too many choices throughout the day leads to exhaustion, procrastination, and feeling paralyzed by the mess around us. And most importantly, I'm going to walk you through clear, actionable ways that you can cut through the mental clutter, making decluttering easier, and finally create that home that you want that feels calm and put together without the burnout. But before I jump in, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you join me for this show and you make it part of your weekly routine. I would love to know what you like about the show, if there are other topics you want me to cover, or if there are any other special guests that you would love me to interview. So come on over to Instagram and send me a DM. I am at Wannabe Clutter Free there, or you can join the Facebook community that I have. It's a private group and it is the Wannabe Minimalist Family Group. And we would love to have you join in the conversation. And if you love the show, I would love it if you could do me a quick favor and give it a 5-star rating. All right, with that, let's get into it, starting with what decision fatigue actually is and why it is secretly sabotaging your ability to declutter. All right, what is decision fatigue? Well, this idea was coined by psychologist Roy Baumeister, and decision fatigue is the mental exhaustion that comes from making too many decisions in a day, leading to poor choices, avoidance, or burnout. Right? That avoidance really comes in to play when we talk about decluttering. We don't even want to deal with it, so we just avoid it. Now, studies show that the average person makes 35,000 decisions in a day. The average person. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but as a mom, I feel like I'm making more because we are in an elite league of decision makers, right? Not only am I making a decision for myself, I'm making a decision for the entire family about what we're going to have for dinner. I'm helping make decisions about what clothes my kids are going to buy, where we're going to buy them, what we need, all of these kinds of things, right? So I think that 35,000 decisions is just a baseline. We probably make a heck of a lot more than that on a regular basis. So, how does decision fatigue show up in our lives? Well, have you ever felt like you can make decisions for work all day, but then you freeze up when it comes to what's for dinner? That's decision fatigue. Maybe when it comes to decluttering, it's the mental exhaustion of choosing what stays, what goes, and then where should you take it? Like, not only where should it go in your house, but then where do you declutter it or donate it to, right? What do you do with that? And so, all of those thoughts, they drain us before we even start. Maybe it's the cycle of buying bins, planners, and storage systems that don't work out, right? You've done that before. That is an avoidance response, right? We're trying to solve the mental exhaustion problem with a physical solution. And so we buy something to make things better, but then we have an entire pile of these bins that don't quite fit. They're not quite what we need. They're not, they're just not the best. Or these planners that we start, but we never finish or we don't stick with them, right? Does this sound familiar? I get it. I've done it too. So why is this detrimental to moms? Well, this leads to procrastination, which leads to clutter buildup, which leads to overwhelm increasing, and then it leads to confidence drops, right? So it's this really bad cycle. It's like this tornado of terror where we just, one thing leads to another and it just keeps going and we're like going down this funnel and it is not great at the bottom. And we do not want to be there because now our confidence drops. We don't want to make decisions, right? Because we're not confident. Now we're procrastinating. And it's just kind of this ever going cycle. So what happens is it creates a decision debt, right? We accumulate all these unresolved choices that make us feel stuck and incapable. It saps our energy that could be spent on way better things, right? Joyful, fulfilling activities like pursuing personal passions, growing in your career or a side hustle. being present with your family, just hanging out with yourself and drinking some coffee and enjoying your life. There are so many other things that we could be doing. And so we have to break free from this decision fatigue and start taking action so that we can get to the things we actually want and break that unrelenting cycle that I just mentioned before. So let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how to overcome decision fatigue when we are decluttering. Okay, so let's talk about the decision detox. This is a really fun method that can help us reduce decision fatigue while clearing clutter in a sustainable way. I know that's a big hot topic for everybody. We don't want to be wasteful and we don't want to, just throw it all out as much as we wish we could. We know we can't. That's not going to help us. So, how can we do this in a sustainable way? Well, I want us to reduce our daily decision load. What does that mean? Well, I want us to pre-decide our categories. So instead of deciding on each item, I want us to create a decision framework. So for example, if something is broken and it hasn't been used in 3 months, well, then it's a toss, right? So we're making these decisions ahead of time. This is what a decision framework is. So you start beforehand and you say, before you even look at anything you own, you say, if it meets this criteria and this criteria, or this criteria, or this criteria. If it's this or this, then it's going to go. Okay? So it's going to either be a toss or a donate or a recycle. It's going to be one of those three things. If it doesn't fit these categories, right? If it's something I love, then it's going to be a keep, right? Okay, so let's talk about those again. Example, if it's broken, hasn't been used in 3 months, it's going to get a toss. If it doesn't fit, if you don't love it, or you wouldn't buy it again, but it's still in good condition, that's going to be a donate. So those are each a decision framework. If it doesn't fit, donate. If you don't love it, donate it. If you wouldn't buy it again, donate it. Okay, so those are frameworks. You're going to put something in your calendar and say, this is when I'm decluttering, right? So you're making those decisions ahead of time so that when all of these icky feelings come up and you get tired and you're doing these things, you're saying like, no, I already decided. I've already made that decision. I'm going to do this. All right. Then I want us to look at uniformity and automation in other areas. I want us to be able to simplify our daily decisions in order to save the mental energy for these harder choices. So this might be meal planning. This might be sitting down on Sunday afternoon before you go to the grocery store and saying, okay, what are we going to eat this week? I'm going to make sure I have the ingredients and the things I need to make these 5, 6, 7 meals. And then this is the plan. I'm going to write it in my planner. And so that way, when I'm tired and I don't want to think what's for dinner, I already know I've already made the decision. I've made an investment in my future self, and I've made this decision so that things will be easier for me this week. All right, this might also be something like a capsule wardrobe. I'm going to wear this week, or it doesn't even have to be a capsule wardrobe. You could test out a capsule wardrobe and pick out your 7 outfits for the week and say, these are the activities I need to do. These are the kinds of clothes I need. Here's what I'm wearing Monday through Friday. Here are my weekend outfits. This is what we're doing. This might also be presetting your workout schedule. Now, I'm a Peloton girl. I love my Peloton. I will oftentimes the night before, when I'm feeling good and I'm all excited about tomorrow's workout, I will create my workout schedule. I will pick my classes. I will put them in my workout stack. And then in the morning or whenever I get to my workout that day, I know it's already done. All I have to do is put my shoes on and show up at the bike. And then I click in and then I just start and it's already there for me. It's already preloaded. Those decisions were already made. So it is one of my favorite ways to use these pre-decision ideas in order to just make the progress I want to make, right? I'm investing in my future when I take a little bit of time and make these decisions ahead of time. All right, the next thing I want you to do is to use the 2-minute rule. If a decision will take you less than 2 minutes, we'll make it now. This helps break the cycle of postponing these small clutter decisions that pile up into big ones, right? We all know that we're going to get mail every day. Spending a couple minutes going through the pile of mail that comes in on a daily basis will help you not have these giant piles of paper in your house. If you just bring the mail in and you just throw it on the stack, well, you don't know what's in there. And then all of a sudden that stack gets really big and you start to freak out like, did I miss a bill? What was in there? Was there something that was important? Did I not get back to my child's school on time? You know, what happened? Like, what's in there? So now you have all this anxiety over that giant pile when we could have just had a moment of, okay, junk mail, garbage, recycling, great. Oh, something that I need to open and take action on. Open it up, look at it and say, oh, this is something I need to take care of. Put it somewhere where you're actually going to do that. Maybe that's in your planner. Maybe it's on your refrigerator. Maybe you have an inbox for it. The process itself afterwards doesn't matter, but you've made decisions on it and it didn't take you very long. And now you are more back in control. There are less decisions to make later. And so, like I said, this helps break that cycle of postponing where those decisions start to feel really heavy. Right now, they're just really light and they're really little and we can do it quickly. So if it takes less than 2 minutes, go ahead and do it now. Number 3 is to set boundaries with good enough. Things do not have to be perfect. This is I'm a recovering perfectionist. So this is one of the things that really helped me on my journey is letting go of this idea because overthinking decluttering comes from perfectionism. I want you to give yourself permission for good enough decisions, right? I don't need to find the perfect place to donate this sweater. I just need to let it go. So I talked about this. I'm in the process of recording. I'm very excited for you. I'm coming out with this amazing package of courses, and I just recorded this, and this is one of the tips in there. So you're getting a little sneak peek. But it is just giving yourself the ability to donate things or get them out of your home in the easiest way possible. Now, that might be, you might have this amazing donation center that you love their mission and you love everything, but it's 30 minutes away. It's on the other side of town. And so you just don't ever get anything over there because it's in the opposite direction of all the other things you do. And someday you will probably be able to get there. But right now, if things are really hard and you're really overwhelmed, we just need to do the next best thing. And so that might be hitting up the Goodwill that's on the way to your child's school. And that's okay. It's good enough. You're getting it out of your home. It might also be just having a box at the end of the driveway that says free on it with the things you decluttered that day. Also, a very viable option. You might actually prefer that because the people in your local area will be able to benefit from these things. So you just have to decide what works best for you right now. It doesn't have to be the perfect forever solution. This also doesn't have to be the thing you do forever. It could just be the thing you do right now. All right, let's take one more quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about, I have 3 other tips for ways we can get over decision fatigue. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is leveraging your energy cycles. I read an amazing book on this. I will put it in the show notes because at the moment I am blanking on it, but it talked about having your energy cycles and thinking about them as a stoplight, right? Green when you have a lot of energy, yellow when you're so-so on your energy, and then red when you are just like, I can barely do things right now. I can do some things, but my brain is shot. I don't want to do a lot of stuff. The problem is, I think a lot of us try to tackle our clutter when we're in these red zones. And so we don't have the best mental energy. So we want to maybe switch that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be our green energy. We want to use our green energy for the things that really help us in our lives. So if you are, if you're a creative for your job, you're going to want to use your green energy on your most creative endeavors. Decluttering might be a yellow for me. Like this might be something where I still have the capability to make good decisions, but I don't need to be at my best. Okay. But definitely not a red. We definitely want to have more energy than like, I just want to cuddle up on the couch. And the red energy is good for things that are very simple to do. Maybe it's folding laundry while you're watching TV. Maybe it's putting dishes away. It's things like that where you're not really at your peak mentally, but you can still do things physically. All right. So I want you to pair decluttering with high energy moments. So again, not these green ones were the most creative, high energy. So high physical ability still, but not necessarily needing the most brain power we have. So this might be after exercise when you've got these high endorphins going. It might be post coffee when you have some caffeine. Or you can plan in advance and say, I want to do this. I'm going to need a little extra boost. I'm going to have a coffee at 11 a.m. If you are working from home, you can say, I'm going to take a quick little break and give myself 10 minutes to declutter a little area here. And I'm going to treat myself with this coffee. So I'm doing them together. You can avoid decision overload zones like the end of the workday, right? So don't be decluttering when we've already made a ton of decisions during the day. So if we can work decluttering into things that we're already doing so that it's not so overwhelming, that's really helpful. Your coffee's brewing in the morning as you're getting ready, or you're putting the dishes away. And you can, at those moments, declutter things as you touch them. So as you're putting the dishes away in the cabinet, you can look in the cabinet. You know which dishes you use because those are the ones that are in the dishwasher. Are there things in the cabinet that you're putting away that you never touch, that haven't seen the light of day in the last 5 years? Do you still have toddler dishes? The plastic toddler dishes, and your kids are now going into junior high or high school. These are the kinds of things we can declutter easily within the things we're already doing. They don't take a lot of mental energy, and they don't take a ton of physical energy. They don't take a ton of time. So we're leveraging some energy cycles, but we're just making it part of our routine and making it really simple. Okay, does that make sense? So not at the end of the day, we're not going to have worked a very long, stressful day and then come home and declutter. If, unfortunately, that is kind of the reality for you right now, see if you can give yourself 10 extra minutes in the morning before you head out for the day, before you make all those decisions, and spend 10 minutes decluttering one small section. Set your timer. You can do it. You can make a lot of progress in 10 minutes, I promise. All right. Number 5 is to set a timer, like I just said, not a goal. So instead of saying, I need to declutter this entire closet, we're going to reframe it as I'll declutter for 10 minutes. So maybe you're decluttering your shirts. Maybe you're decluttering your sock drawer. Maybe you're decluttering your shoes, your handbags, something where it's just 10 minutes. It will make it so much easier for you. It's less pressure. It's less fatigue, less decisions. The idea that you have to do your entire closet, take everything out, lay it all on the bed, make a decision about every single thing you own. It is so overwhelming. Like, I'm overwhelmed just even saying it, and I don't have to declutter my closet. So I know how mentally draining it is to do that. I've done it before. So I really recommend just setting the timer, make it quick. Set a timer, not a goal. We are doing little things, and as you do little bits over time, it gets easier over time. You make better decisions, you get faster at it, and it's something you actually start to look forward to because you love the reward at the end of your 10 minutes, which is a tidier space. And then the last one is to create a decluttering playlist or reward system. I love having music on. It's so motivating. So pick some songs that you love. Now, this could be, you get to decide. Maybe you need high energy songs. I like having high energy songs. I've had a lot of people that listen to this podcast say they listen to me while they're decluttering. I love that. It feels so special to be with you on your journey. So if that works for you, then absolutely have me along for the ride, or someone else that you enjoy listening to. That's great. But make sure that you are having something that motivates you, right? Just like when I don't work out in silence, I need high energy music. I love being on my Peloton because I've got someone talking to me, and they pick the playlist and it's great and it's going in the background and it's high energy and it's keeping me going, and it's so much easier to move to the music. Same with decluttering. Don't pick a slow, calm thing that's going to make you move real slow. Pick something that's high energy that gets you motivated. I love breakup songs for decluttering. That's a little tip right there, because you can look at it as breaking up with your clutter, breaking up with your stuff, breaking up with this old version of yourself, or maybe these things that you've been holding on to out of guilt, and just letting it go and finding freedom. So I love a good breakup song for decluttering. So if you need a tip, look for that for sure. And then also give yourself a special reward. Now, this isn't going to be, I just cleaned my closet, I'm going to go shopping and get a whole new wardrobe. Unless it's been years that you haven't gotten new clothes, your clothes are worn and tired, and you're going to shop with purpose, then that can work out. But maybe you say, you know what? I love scrolling on Instagram. So I'm going to declutter for 10 minutes and then I get 10 minutes to just scroll on Instagram. Great. That's a fantastic little reward for yourself. And then you'll have motivation to get it done and do it again. And so that's just a really nice thing to do. And then, like a bigger reward that I love to put, because I'm one of those people, I know everyone says you should declutter for yourself. And I totally do. And I totally believe that. But there is nothing like lighting a fire under your behind by inviting people over to your home. So set a date where you invite some friends over for dinner, and then that can be your big reward after you've decluttered all these little areas in the 10 minutes. Start with the most visual areas if you're doing that, so you have the time to make sure that it gets done. And in case things in the background didn't get done, no one's checking in your closets. So, make sure you're doing it that way if that's your reward that you pick. But I love setting that because then I feel rewarded by having people over. A lot of people feel embarrassed by their homes. And so if that is you, then let's get some decluttering going on so you can start opening your home up and being more social again. If this has been holding you back, I would love for for your stuff not to hold you back and for you to actually live the life that you want to be living. All right. So those are my 6 ways to help you overcome decision fatigue and actually start making progress with decluttering. So some of your actionable takeaways, I want you to do something today. So please don't just listen to this and go about your day. Let's take action. So I want you to choose one area to declutter, even if it's just for 5 minutes. I know I kept talking about 10, but even if you only have 5 minutes, or 1 minute. We even talked about the 2-minute rule today. So it doesn't have to be a lot of time. Just choose one thing and be systematic and be purposeful. Okay. Then use the pre-decided categories to make it easier, right? Those 3 questions I gave you earlier, and then also if it's broken. Let go of something. If it is broken, it is okay. That means you have worn it out and you have used it up. And it is okay to let go of things and throw them away if we've used them up. They've served their purpose. Then set a timer and get going and then walk away when it's done. I want you to celebrate your progress, not perfection. It is okay. If you have more energy and time, you can set another timer for 10 minutes and keep going, but you don't have to do a marathon session to actually make progress. All right, so those are your actionable tips for today. Please, please, please make sure you choose one. Come on over to Instagram and let me know which one you did. I would love to chat with you over there. You can send me a DM or comment on this post. And then know that decluttering is not about making that perfect decision. It is about reducing the number of decisions you have to make. Okay? I'm going to say that again. It's not about making the perfect decision. It's about reducing the number of decisions you have to make in your daily life. You are not alone. You are fully capable of reclaiming control over your space and your mental energy. So if this resonated with you, please take a screenshot, share it on Instagram, tag me at wannabeclutterfree. I would love to cheer you on. And lastly, if you love this episode, I would be honored if you would give it a 5-star rating. And I think I forgot to tell you, you can get the detailed show notes and all the links that I chatted about over at wannabeclutterfree.com/248. Again, that's wannabeclutterfree.com/248. And as always, thank you so much for joining me today and making the show part of your weekly routine. And join me back here next week when I'll be talking to Michelle Grosser about the secret to beating burnout. We're going to talk about simple nervous system hacks for moms, and it's one you're not going to want to miss. All right, until next time, take care, keep things simple. Remember, progress over perfection. You can do a lot in 10 minutes, and know that I believe in you. I'm Deanna Yates, and you've been listening to Wanna Be Clutter Free. I'll see you next week. Cheers.